Hi everyone, I'm Zach LeBeau, CEO and co-creator of Singular DTV. Welcome to the debut of our first two applications designed to empower artists and creators, Tokeit and Launchpad. Tokeit is our rights management application where you can tokenize your project, onboarding it to the blockchain where it can benefit from the power of decentralized computing. Our Launchpad is a project funding application that allows you to tap into this growing multi-billion-dollar crypto economy and get your project made. Up next, we have a very special guest and a couple of filmmakers from China who will be demoing our applications. But first, a little bit more on Singular DTV. I remember in 1997, David Bowie, he sold himself. He launched himself on Wall Street. Essentially what he did was he took his music that he made, that he owned, and he tokenized it. All of his music's future royalties he put in the form of bonds that he called Bowie bonds. You can call them tokens as well. So the public could buy a piece of his music. It was a direct investment into him as an artist. And no one had ever done that before. It was groundbreaking. And he raised $55 million doing it. I remember it having a huge impact on me in the fact that you could take your ideas, a project, your talent, whatever you had to offer to the world, and go out and find a community, find an audience, find those out there that believe in you, that support you, that want what you have to give. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do what David Bowie did. I wanted to tokenize my writings, my books, my scripts. And I was this kid from a small town in the Midwest, and I was a rebellious artist. I didn't know anything about Wall Street, didn't want to know anything about Wall Street. And I certainly wasn't David Bowie. But this concept, it stuck with me all these years. And now, 19 years later, we have the tools. We're building the technology for anyone with an idea or a project to create their own tokenized ecosystem. Giving them the opportunity to find the audience, giving the world the opportunity to buy their tokens, to fund their project, to help manifest their dreams. What Singular DTV is building is a completely new type of industry. It's an alternative, an alternative that is transparent, that is uncensorable, that is peer-to-peer, where revenue collection is instantaneous, where middlemen don't exist. No sales agents, no distributors, no lawyers, no intermediaries that end up diminishing an artist's profit potential through creative accounting or through waste and inefficiency. We're building a completely decentralized entertainment industry. We're building the tools that empower artists, that give them control over their property, over their revenue. And there's a movement of artists out there like Louis C.K. and Imogen Heap and Grammatic who are already leaving this old system behind. In Singular DTV, we're building this new system. In order to make sure that the most important part of the process wasn't just theory, we had to prove it. We had to tokenize our idea, and we had to launch it to the world. And that's what we did. Our motivation has been pure and progressive and positive, open, transparent, all of that right from the beginning. It is the reason why us four founders have come together like we have and have been able to do this. It's the reason why we have been able to get the quality of advisors and core investors. And it's the reason why we're able to have designed what we did and are about to launch it right now.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, launch! DTV dumpling launches in the air.
Right on.
Bravis. Good job, guys. Fantastico.
So we've got 229,000 ether. 274,000 ether.
2 million, 3 million. Jesus.
4.35 million in 3 minutes. 4.48 million, 4 minutes.
5.5 million.
We are less than a million away from the cap. All right, we're approaching we're past 7, we're at 7.1.
Yes.
Now, let's go make some fucking movie.
Yes.
Good job.
Thanks for all your beautiful energy and your amazing work. Yay. Wonderful.
Singular DTV is headquartered in Switzerland with offices in New York, Puerto Rico, and Shanghai. As we launch our first 2 apps, Tokit and Launchpad, in English, we're also launching them in Chinese. Our next artist from China is a talented young filmmaker from Beijing. His first feature was the indie breakout Duck Neck, and today he's here to onboard his next film, Ye Ma Fenzong, and fund it with Singular DTV applications. Let's find out a little bit more about Xu Jingwei, aka Puck.
其实我跟电影还是特别有缘分。小的时候，因为人家找一个会弹钢琴的小孩儿，所以我就有机会了，演了我人生中第一部电影，是作为演员。平常我喜欢拿着摄影机或者是 DV 去在街上拍东西。我是北京人，然后我也生在这儿，长在这儿。北京变化很快，我很喜欢这城市，但是因为太快了，所以很多人都已经忘了这个内心最本真的想法，而电影就恰恰在讲这些东西。所以我希望在很快速这个时代，在这个城市的里面，捕捉真正可以留得住的东西。我去釜山电影节，其实给我最深的感受有2个。然后开幕式的时候，直接放的是阿巴斯的纪念片，因为去年阿巴斯去世了。阿巴斯的片子完了以后，所有人都站起来鼓掌，几万人一起鼓掌。那个时候你就觉得真的是做电影真的很神圣。另外一点呢，就是我在釜山去做观众见面会，很多观众看完我们的电影以后都特别踊跃的提问，然后他们都表示很喜欢我们的电影。那个时候感觉真的是做一切都特别值得。我觉得你的作品能被别人认可，其实是创作者最大的荣幸。所有的片子之所以去创作它们，都是因为我有想表达的东西，包括我下面一个作品《野马分鬃》也是这样。其实它完全是根据我自己的故事去改编出来的。它讲的是一个男孩和一个吉普车的故事，就像吉普有一个特别著名的广告语，就是说每个人心中都有一辆吉普。这个车其实就是这个男孩中心驰以往的一个朋友，又像伴侣，又像女朋友。他们经历了分分合合，由最开始的初识，然后相爱相知，如胶似漆，到最后有矛盾分开，以至于最后都不想见到这辆车。我觉得这个特别像2个人物之间的关系。其实拍摄《野马分鬃》是我一直以来的一个想法，它就像我青春真实成长轨迹的一个写照。因为我认为每个人的青春都有它沉甸甸的那一部分。青春的可贵在于它的可能性，你可以选择睡一上午，你也可以选择流浪去远方，而它的可悲在于对抗现实的无力。所以青春有的时候确实是用来缅怀的。
的夜晚，冷风
你安静点的，给我录像。你们好，我后面的项目叫野马分鬃，我需要很多钱，希望你们可以给我一些钱，谢谢。
闪烁的灯火，迷人的月色，仿佛没有人真正在意。不知道现在是否依然有。
It's a great pleasure to have with us today a super talented young filmmaker, Puck, and also Yang Tsui of Shanghai. He's the director of operations for Singular DTV. He'll be translating for us if there's any communication issues here with Puck. So, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
I think it's super exciting. This is a really unique story. It's basically about a young man in his relationship with a Jeep Cherokee.
Yes, I can give you a brief introduction of this. Actually, it's a real story from my life, and it's about a boy and a Jeep. Okay, the boy used all his money to buy a second-hand car, an old Cherokee. Sadly, he found his car nearly broken, and he has to drive this car to earn the money to repair it. Then he found that in the person of the adult world is more dangerous and more worse. And at this time, he make him in a trouble in another way. Then he can't turn back. So he start to understand the cost of to be a man.
So, Puck, tell us, how did you fall in love with filmmaking?
很多年前，04年我在看一个电影叫《放牛班的春天》，然后他讲了一个老师带领一群失控的孩子们、边缘少年去学唱歌的故事，非常的感人。从那个时候开始，我喜欢了电影，一个法国电影，那是一部。
You were telling me about that
Yes.
Earlier, Chorus, right?
Yes, Chorus.
So, what was it about this film, Chorus, that made you feel this way?
它其实是让我觉得没有值得被遗弃的东西，所有我们那个生命中、生活中那些边缘的人物都值得被尊重，他们都有自己独特的价值。我觉得这个是真正感染我的东西。
I'll have to see it. I don't think I've seen that film.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
must.
I heard that you started playing the piano when you were 4 years old.
Yes.
So, you've been a creative person all your life, pretty much.
Maybe I think. 其实我第一次接触电影也是因为我小时候会弹钢琴，有一个电影在找一个会弹钢琴的小孩，所以我有了机会结缘电影。它让我觉得很不一样，就是真正你在创作一部电影的时候，和我们在电视机前和电影院看的时候非常的不一样。在创作的过程中非常的艰难，但一旦你完成了一个让人感动的画面，那将非常激动，让你觉得这一切都很值得。
Let's get into what the indie film scene is like in China. What's independent film like in China?
独立电影其实每一个独立电影，我不敢去代表他们，但是在我眼中，我所看到的是他们的发行或者他们的放映，都是摸着石头过河。
So that means, how do you fund films? Is it pretty difficult to fund independent films then?
建立一部电影对有的人来说确实是很困难的，因为考虑到它的受众，我们的市场更希望有一些商业的电影。如果是艺术电影的话，可能它的受众不会很好，所以在拍独立电影的时候，真的会在投资阶段会遇到问题，这是确实常见的。
When you do make independent films, when you make these artistic films, where do you distribute them?
他说艺术电影我们在哪儿发行它们吗？在中国刚刚成立了艺术院线的联盟，但是它还是刚刚起步的一个阶段。大部分艺术电影他们在院线也会上映、会发行，但是会很短的时间就会下来。
And what about digital distribution, internet distribution?
一点点，就是会有，但是会很少很少。
Well, we look forward to putting your next film onto the Singular DTV platform and funding the first Chinese feature film on Singular DTV.
Okay, that's great.
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Your funding campaign is ready. Your project page looks fantastic. So what we're going to do is immediately after this episode, you can go to the URL at the bottom of the screen and watch Puck's funding campaign go live. 1.5 million tokens to get the $1.5 million you need to make the first Chinese feature film funded by Singular DTV's applications.
Yeah, it's
All
great.
right.
Let's do
Fantastic.
this.
Let's do
Yeah.
it. All right. Thanks so much, Puck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yang. We have a very special guest with us today, a gifted actor of the stage and screen. You may know him as the billionaire investor Russ Hanneman from HBO's hit show Silicon Valley, who said he would fund a decentralized internet. Let's take a look at the work of Chris Diamantopoulos.
Oh, we have a contract? We have a fucking contract, Richard? You want to know what I have? A fucking car whose doors open like this. Not like this. Not like this. These are not the doors of a billionaire, Richard. Fuck you.
It's gotta feel like your schedule's in free fall, though.
I think all network TV's in free fall. We're just the first ones pushed out of the plane.
I will be really, really, really fucking pissed off at you guys.
Do you read me? There are people dying!
Me? You started it!
Hey, leave him alone.
Shut up!
My goodness!
The Iridium P-38 explosive space modulator. That rabbi has stolen the space modulator.
Ha ha ha, that wascally rabbi.
L'chaim gefilte wholesale.
Comedy, drama, reality. Mix it the fuck up. Maybe one night, 4 hours, all about bees.
Bees?
Bees! The next day, people will be all, did you see that fucking thing about the bees? The sheer balls of it!
Wait, there he's get in there.
We're in there?
Hey, Mom. Get your legs in. Knitting class was cut short today.
It's on the line.
We could build a completely decentralized version of our current internet with no firewalls, no tolls, no government regulation, no spying. Information would be totally free in every sense of the word.
You want to build a new internet.
Yes.
Richard, I like it. That I would fund.
Well, I don't know if it's possible. And
Look, if this new internet is the man of your dreams, and this is the man that you want to fuck, then you need to fuck him. That man, I will pay you to fuck. What the fuck is that kid? Wait a minute. Ah, shit. They kicked us out of this place. I'm at the wrong fucking school. Richard, you find that man, fuck him good.
careful, please. He's gonna peel out.
Subtlety.
So do you seek out those roles where you can just let the fucks fly?
I like to approach a character from the. No, I'm kidding. I'd love to say that I seek out the roles, but the roles sort of tend to find me. And using a nice, solid fuck is very gratifying somehow.
Yeah. Well, Chris, thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure.
Before we dive into Silicon Valley and a decentralized internet and Ethereum, you're like you're a creative dynamo. I mean, you do film, television, theater. You're doing a musical now.
Yeah.
And you've been nominated. You were nominated for a Primetime Emmy for your voice work.
Yeah, I do the voice of Mickey Mouse, which is truly a great honor of mine. I've been doing Mickey now for about 5 years. For the Disney Channel shorts. I've been making a living going, oh boy! It's a lot of fun.
So is it Mickey like the old Mickey, the more
they've really cleverly found a way to sort of take us back to the original Mickey, who was Walt Disney actually himself voicing Mickey, and the sort of rapscallion, cantankerous, as you said,
smoking cigarettes, no Minnie around,
Yeah, he's a little bit more of he's got a little bit more edge, and. He was the Mickey that wasn't afraid to kick Pluto in the ass when Pluto wasn't helping him, hunt the quail that he was looking for in the forest. Yes. Yeah.
So now you're here in New York City.
Yeah.
On Broadway.
Yeah. You know, I started out working in the theater when I was a kid, and I did a good decade of 8 shows a week, and then I moved out to LA and was fortunate enough to get into TV and film, and before I knew it, 15 years had passed before I'd ever gotten back on stage, and I had this opportunity to do this musical called Waitress, which was written. The music and lyrics were written by Sarah Bareilles, who's an incredibly gifted singer-songwriter. It's been phenomenal jumping back on stage and then, having the pleasure and pressure of singing love ballads and duets with arguably one of the best voices of our time.
So between film and television, theater and musicals and voiceover work, do you prefer any medium of expression over another?
I mean, I feel like I'm really blessed to be able to dabble in those various forms, and all of them have their merits and all of them have their challenges. And I feel like I've been lucky enough, right, where one may be challenging me in a way that I would like to try something else. Something seems to sort of pop up.
Like maybe hand modeling next, is that what you're going to do?
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow in the footsteps of George Costanza, although I am the master of my domain, so we're in good shape, yeah.
You've done so many really high-profile network shows.
Yeah, I'm like a bad penny. I'll turn up anywhere.
Yeah, 24, Community, Arrested Development, The Office. I mean, these are really great shows. And now Silicon Valley, of course.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate to work with some great comedy writers, some terrific directors, and great actors across the board. Silicon Valley, I feel like, is the culmination of all of those things. You got Mike Judge and Alec Berg, who have crafted this brilliant world out of what should have been something rather mundane to most of the American public, but they've managed to draw such a special level of that idiosyncratic behavior that Silicon Valley seems to be really sort of understood for. And then they've hired these brilliant comics and comic actors, and then they turn them loose on their great material. So it's been a great marriage and a great confluence of talents and creative energies.
We've been fans of Silicon Valley even before season 4. But in season 4, you guys start talking about a decentralized internet, and it's like, how can we like this show even more than we do now?
Well, the show has ended up being an oracle of sorts with regard to, not necessarily technological advancements, but they're definitely, I think, right on the edge of what's happening and what's about to happen. And Alec and Mike are really, really smart with the way that they craft their storylines to really be timely with regard to the way things are actually unfolding in reality.
As soon as that episode came out, where your character and Richard are in front of the school, and of course your character
It was the first episode of season 4, yeah.
You're dropping F-bombs everywhere in front of the kids, super hilarious. And you guys mention, your character actually mentions that you would fund a decentralized internet.
Yeah.
So did you have any concept or understanding of a decentralized internet?
We talked about it just briefly on the day. Alec and Mike talked about how through their research and the people that they've been talking to and the VCs that they've been talking to in Silicon Valley, this really did seem to be the next phase.
Oh, wow.
The next internet, essentially, or the next way that we would utilize the internet. So, yeah, I think, I'm just a dumb actor. I'm a meat puppet, but I got a little bit of the information beforehand, and I find it fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. It's amazing because it's kind of uncanny timing, because we're seeing the decentralization movement really start to take off. And it really kind of feels like, to us who have been working on this for so long, it feels like 1994, 1995 of the internet in blockchain space.
That's really cool and quite vindicating, I bet, as well, because you guys took a chance on it before anyone really understood what the concept was.
It's been exciting. So it's been even more exciting to see sort of this, the fact and fiction parallel here. What we're doing, building decentralized internet, and of course, what you're doing, telling stories. It's like, it's like.
You've hit onto something when your counterculture endeavor becomes ubiquitous because one of the biggest comedies on TV is now referencing essentially what you're working on. So you've struck something.
As soon as that episode aired, all over Reddit, all over everywhere everyone goes in Ethereum, it was like, okay, so is season 4 of Silicon Valley all about Ethereum?
Excellent.
People just like really diving into it, dissecting it, saying, oh yeah, this and this and this and this. So it's funny, it's like when someone asks, what are you guys doing? What's decentralized computing? I'm like, okay, we'll just go watch, the first episode of Silicon Valley.
Right.
You know, I mean, Richard
Right.
says it pretty much there to you.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And you can also learn a lot about different gay phrases in that episode. It turns out that Russ is very gay friendly because his grandfather came out of the closet.
Right.
And it was very beautiful, very moving.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Chris, Singular DTV, our mission is all about empowering artists to become their own economy, and this is really a mission that Kim Jackson and I started at the end of 2013. So it's been a long time coming for us, and it came about because there's this elaborate system of gatekeepers out there that oppress and suppress expression. And when artists and creatives actually do get the chance to express, there's an even more elaborate system of intermediaries out there that extract the value, take the profit, the revenue away from the artist.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah.
So, I mean, it really makes it almost impossible for a vast majority of artists to make a living off their art.
And to freely express.
And to freely express, exactly. And then that's the beautiful thing about the blockchain as well, decentralized computing. It really actually does give artists the opportunity to be their own economy so that they can express all over the world while being in control of their IP, their rights, and their revenue in a completely peer-to-peer distribution environment.
It's fascinating. I feel like most artists would welcome the opportunity to freely express and control the work, project, or brand that they've created. I mean, I don't think anybody gets into a creative endeavor, into the entertainment industry, with the hopes that their material or their ideas will be watered down and turned into something that they don't want to create. You know, I was on that show, Episodes,
Yep.
and one of the main concepts of the storyline was this. There was this brilliant British show about a kid's boarding school. It was full of pathos and really sort of this lovely emotional, dramatic look at this school. And by the time it got in the hands of American network TV, it turned into Pucks with an exclamation point, about a hockey coach, and it was a comedy. And I mean, literally everything had been drained right out of it. And it's not necessarily analogous to what you're speaking of, but the notion of being able to create freely and control and then distribute, as you said, peer-to-peer, it sounds like the logical next step, given where we are with regard to how the sphere of the entertainment world has changed as a result of social media.
Absolutely. It's one of the things we're doing here during this launch, is we're bringing artists from all over the world, and they're demoing our applications. We're doing short films, feature films,
cool.
television, music, charities, even businesses. So, I mean, it's really great that you're here to talk about this and experience it with us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
And, we just so happen to have everything we're doing with the launch of our applications in English. We're also mirroring that in Chinese.
Oh, excellent.
And hopefully one day we'll have all of the languages of the world represented. But today we have a very special filmmaker from China. Her name is Yu Ting, and she has a really interesting project, and it's all about the gay dating culture in China.
Oh, wow.
Which is, I don't want to say taboo, but it's definitely an issue that is sort of a bit behind closed doors, culturally not as acceptable as it is here in the United States.
Wow, that's fascinating.
So I'd love it for Yu Ting to come on. Would you like to sit with us and go through the process of onboarding her project to a couple of our applications?
Oh, that'd be terrific. Yeah, I'd love that.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right, great. Well, we've got a little bit more information on Yu Ting.
Okay, great.
So let's check that out right now.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Hello， 大家好，我叫曾玉婷。我在建立自己工作室之前，曾经在南方都市报的音视频制作部实习了半年，在那儿我学会了站在不同的角度去观察这个世界。 建立了自己的工作室，大大小小的项目也做过不少，但是一直有那么一些题材是我想做的。同性恋群体纪录片就是其中一个。我有一位好友在法国留学，他说他遇到过一个关于法国近80年同性恋群体演进历程的一个展览。我们大概很难想象这样的一个展览会出现在中国大陆，因为哪怕在网上我们也很难去查询到关于同性恋群体的有效信息，而巨大的社会舆论压力又在很大程度上封闭了用社交手段去获取有效信息的可能性。
我身边的有2个发小，就是他16岁的时候开始跟父母出柜，他妈就在家狂哭，就这个是家丑中的家丑，就不仅不可以外扬，甚至连他妈都不敢跟他爸说，所以他妈每天就是一直在以泪洗面，以泪洗面。
而我们中国是一个具有15亿人口的大国，哪怕同性恋群体的比例只有 1%， 那也意味着这样一个群体庞大到比很多国家的总人口的数量还要多。所以我经常在想，如果大家想要了解这个群体，应该从哪儿获得信息呢？我知道目前来说，其实在市场上已经有不少的影视作品是关于同性恋群体的，但是他们都在一定程度上存在着猎奇的色彩。
影视工作者的第一个首先就是不能够去想从同性恋身上得到什么，这个是非常危险也是非常狭窄的一个。比如说我们拍同性恋就一定要拍到他们俩接吻的镜头啊，一定要拍到他们俩拉手啊，睡在一起啊，它不是一次强烈的冲击就能改变的，就像炸弹一样，你可能很有爆破力，但是同时你也伤害了很多人。你其实不止在伤害同性群体，你也在伤害想要了解同性群体的那些人。
我很想做一些人物志，我不需要我的人物有很显赫的背景或者是超人的技能，我只是想要简简单单的不卑不亢的去记录那些就生活在我们周边的同性恋群体。
通过这个片子在讲我的事情的时候，让很多人明白，不要把自己塞到某一个框里面。我觉得所有人最大的问题是你要看自己，你要尊重自己，不要轻易的把自己放到一个柜子里，还是放到一个盒子里。可能在盒子里的人不是你，可能是那些有色眼镜看你的人，他们在盒子里，是他们要出柜，而不是你要出柜。
我只希望在我的镜头下，他们是真实的，是诚恳的。尽管他们背负着不同程度的社会舆论压力，但是他们仍然勇敢地走在去追逐幸福和爱的道路上。我在期待有那么一天，如果我们家女儿蒙娜告诉我说我爱上了一位叫丽莎的女孩，我希望我的同胞们不再会有那么大的不适感。
我们不能像看待一个很奇怪的人去看待同志，而是就像看待我们自己。我觉得如果要是想为这个群体，它是个细水流长的事情。
所以我希望正在奔往幸福终点站的你们跟我一起去了解我们身边那些普普通的同性恋群体，因为其实有可能你们也正在了解对于你们最重要的人。
Yuting, welcome.
Thank you.
What an important project. What gave you this idea? Why is this important to you?
Actually, for myself, I think I want to pay a little bit effort to build a brighter future or a better future for my daughter. It's more like for her, not for me, I guess. So.
Well, how is it in China right now? Is there a openly gay dating culture?
Officially, it's not prohibited by the government, but it's also not so open. I think to some extent it's prohibited by the public opinion. So we cannot see that in the popular movies that we can know more about this group.
So is the entire gay dating or homosexual culture, is it not represented in film or music or?
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, it's not well represented.
So people are still hiding then?
Yeah, I think they conceal themselves to have some kind of practical marriage. We call it 形式婚姻 in Chinese. And I have a friend actually, you know, in China, everyone maybe want to have their own apartment or buy her own apartment so they feel home. I have a friend, she also want, and she bought one, but she concealed herself by getting married with another guy, but actually she's lesbian. And she cannot let her parents know about this. So every time when she goes home, she has to sleep inside. I mean, keep it as a secret. She cannot share the happiness with her friends, and that's so sad.
So it's like her home is her prison in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Dark Rainbow, it's quite a powerful title.
Absolutely, very moving. What we saw here was very moving and beautifully filmed, actually, as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so happy and pleased that Singular DTV can be the type of platform to help make a project like this possible.
Yeah, and also, I do know that there are some materials or videos about gay dating in China. It exists, but we don't know so much because maybe in some way there was a pipe, it filtered the materials. And so we don't watch, or the majority Chinese, they don't know so much about this group.
And what a perfect venue. You're talking about this pipeline filtering the information, and what Singular DTV is the exact opposite of that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's breaking the pipe open and just letting all the information be exactly what it's supposed to be. So what a perfect marriage that is.
Even in China, this homosexual group, they don't get enough information, so it's hard for them to know about themselves. They might define themselves as I am a lesbian.
No, you're absolutely right. And when you don't have the information and you're limited by what you can, I mean, as human beings, we draw on the energy and knowledge and wisdom and actions of those around us. And if we don't have access to those things, if we don't have something analogous to examine, to explore, to look at, it's hard to see our own reflection. You're absolutely right. That's a prison of sorts.
You're starting your own channel on Singular DTV once our distribution portal's ready. But in the meantime, we are taking Dark Rainbow and we're onboarding it through Tokit and getting it on Singular DTV's platform.
That would be exciting.
Great. So what's going to happen right after this episode, there's a URL that's showing on the screen right now. After this episode, you'll be able to watch it be funded live. Exciting.
It's terrific.
All right. Yuting, thank you so much for being here. Chris, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, great. Thank you for watching our Singular DTV Tokit and Launchpad demos. Immediately after the first airing of each episode, go to the URL on the screen and watch the projects we've demoed here be funded live. To learn more about our platform, visit singulardtv.com and tokit.io. Follow us on social media at Singular DTV and check out our Singular DTV blog on Medium.